hairstylist has been keeping my hair. Original post. I'm weirded out. I'm also going to be vague because obvious reasons. I'm a 30 female and my stylist is 40. I got my hair cut today at a stylist I've been using for about 9 months now. She's boring. This is my 6th appointment with them. I usually do a trim or cut/style. Today, I went from long hair to an A-line bob. I want about 14% higher in whole rigor, higher on the side. I don't know about you, but we run the 11 years later, again, since I started seeing this person, I usually get current style maintenance/trim. This time was a dramatic length adjustment. So they took a picture of the cut length in the floor to add to their social media, then intending to add before/after ours too, are normal. That's all totally fine and normal. They go grab a broom, sweep up the hair, and place the dustpan on the counter for a bit. Again, normal. They grab the broom and pan and head to the back of the shop. They're gone in a few minutes. No biggie. Then they go out to smoke. But now here's where it gets weird. Oh, the bathroom is in the back of the shop too. I need to go and step into the back. I don't really notice anything on the way into the bathroom. I go and start to head back out, but I notice my name on a small clear tote on the table. It has no lid, and it has my hair in it. For my hair, as well as I have a mask for hair reasons, right? At first, I didn't really think much of it, but I looked closer and saw it's not just today's discarded hair, but looks like at least a few of my trim sessions, mixed with, it looked like potpourri and a little sand or something, and printed pictures of the cut hair with dates. The printer is sitting right next to it with today's discarded hair pick in the tray. There didn't seem to be any other containers like this when I looked around. It was weird. So I took a pic on my phone. I honestly didn't know what to think or do and went back out into the salon. They came back in and I mentioned that I went to the restroom and they seemed to freak out a little, but didn't mention it. I didn't really know what to say, so I just let them finish styling my hair, paid, and left. As a socially anxious introvert, this was my nightmare. I got home and the more I looked at this picture, the more ick I got. I ended up texting them an hour ago, sending the picture and requesting they remove the weird box of me and asking for an explanation. I said, hey, so I saw this and didn't know what to make of it. Can you help me understand what this is and why you have it? I'm not comfortable with you having this and request you please discard the contents. Also, even though I loved my cut, I believe it's best if I find a different stylist. They haven't responded. Oh, what the F. Now for the comment before reading the update. Lone J, wow, that sounds strange. I'm curious as well. Good for you for sending the text message. I see your message as mature, fair, and calm. Bet up, USA, bet up. I appreciate that, but full disclosure, it took me a few hours to get calm enough to send that. I'm totally skeezed out. Lone J, being skeezed out seems totally normal in this situation, and I think it is great you were able to calm down and send that text. Being able to do that in a few hours seems good as well. With that being said, I'm an anxious person. Other people may have been able to do what you did quicker than a few hours. I don't know. Now for the update. Op-ed. It's been about a week, and with the holiday, I've been all over the place, but I ended up going to law enforcement to make a report last Monday. I'll likely end up going back if this person keeps contacting me like they have been. I'll give a little timeline. Last Saturday, I texted a steam TV full of gold to my haircut and discovered the weird tub full of my hair. Texted stylist about the weird tub and said I'd be finding a new stylist. Hairstylist didn't respond. Now, this is where I left off in the last post. A lot has happened since then. Sunday, I woke up to a bunch of texts from the stylist. It woke me up because even though I have D&D on my phone, I have a setting that overrides that if there are repeated contact attempts over 3 in case of emergencies. So here's what I got, copied and pasted. 3:49 a.m. I don't recommend going to a different stylist because it's not a big deal in small towns and people talk and you may not find neon that will take you after this. So I'd reconsider. I don't like threats. 3:51 a.m. So I have your biological material and it's mine property now. I can do what I want with it. I kept it because I can, and it means a lot to me. And it matters less that my cheating brother-in-law sees it first. Maybe that's that 3:54 a.m. You send the pic. I know what it looks like. It's mine. 4:00 a.m. You need to respond to me because I think it's a misunderstanding about what this is. It's MBD and you saying you are switching stylists has me triggered. I do good work, you said. So, ball, 4 a.m. I also charge a $350 client separation fee. So, yeah, you can't just say you're switching stylists with more consequences. And I know you said you already tried a few PPL before me, the not many beauty PPL in the area. 4:11 a.m. asking for a explanation for a stylist having hair in a salon is crazy. Where else would you find hair at? I didn't do nothing wrong, but I will get rid of it if you are going to cry about it, but only if you say you won't be switching to Neon else for your hair care. You mean a lot as a client and always tip well and do good work, so it doesn't make sense. And you know that, so maybe don't threaten someone who does your hair or hurt their by making accusatory statements. I didn't respond to any of those that morning because it was so insane to me. I need to process things fully before I make a decision on how to deal with this. So I just didn't respond. And Sunday afternoon, I start getting phone calls. This person called me 14 times that afternoon. About every other call, they left a voicemail. And most of the voicemails just said, call me back or text me back. But 2 of them were unhinged. I'm going to paraphrase, but the gist of the first one was, sounds like they're crying. Call me back. I'm getting scared. You won't come back to me for your hair. For real, I just like how your hair feels. That's why I kept it. Call me. Fucked up. But the second unhinged message was left late Sunday night at 11:38 p.m. And it said, I got rid of it except for one lock. I found out I liked watching your hair burn more than I liked keeping it. I didn't respond to any of those messages, calls, or texts. The whole thing had me freaked out. Now, I decided by that time I was taking Monday off work to go to the police. Even if they couldn't do anything, I wanted a filed report of the weirdness. I woke up Monday to an email from the stylist with an invoice of $375 for client breach of contract fee as the chargeable line item. Again, copying pasting here. The email body was just for being a bitch. It was sent from their business email too, so they're really doing everything they can to ruin themselves. Even if I had a contract with this nutter, which I don't, the original amount was for $350. They can't even get their extortion fees right. I did email them back stating that we had no contract and to cease all further communication with me from this point forward. I got ready and started heading to the police station around 9:45 Monday morning. I live in a rural area, so there are portions of my drive to and from our main town that don't have cell reception. When I finally got to town, I had 4 voicemails. I knew immediately who they were from. Promptly, I talked to one of the officers on staff. They took my statement, copied the email, and asked me to forward all the texts and screenshots of the numbers of calls. They said, at the least, the calls and texts could be considered menacing and harassment. But the voicemail where they mentioned how they liked burning my hair was potentially concerning. The officer advised I contact a legal representative in case this person tries to take the bogus invoice to a civil suit. And they said I'm welcome to change my number, but having the piling evidence if they continue to contact me after I explicitly told them not to in the email would only help me. I reached out to a lawyer Tuesday and left a detailed message regarding the situation. They are apparently out of the office until next Wednesday for the holidays, so we'll see if they have any advice. I've since received many texts and calls from the stylist. They sent a happy Thanksgiving text on Thursday morning as well. Regardless, they are giving me a lot of evidentiary material to work with, but I'm so unsettled. I can't wait to hear from the lawyer this week. Vanessa Direct. I woke up to new comments and we crossed for updates. Firstly, I am okay and safe for now. The person has continued to contact me on a regular basis via phone and email. I do have personal protection that I'm comfortable with and can wield with accuracy, but I'm nearly certain this person does not know where I live, so I don't anticipate any type of confrontation here. Our house and property has complete camera coverage as well. If anyone/anything shows up, we're well aware. I will be posting a more in-depth update with more text and emails up to this point and regarding a specific incident that happened on Friday, on Tuesday. I have an appointment to speak with another officer then to discuss the potential of criminal action and legal consequences for the stylist as a result. I have a very strange situation where I have a missing desktop with 22 Sharpies, and I thank you all for your concern and the validation that this is absolutely insane. I'll leave you with a text from this past week, one I think you'll all enjoy. Question, use it as a model of how not to make friends. 5:12 a.m., April 12th, 24. Don't ever say never. Never coming back. Don't make me laugh. I don't want ass back. You can beg me though. Might help. New update. I didn't expect the crazy amount of people following this. Here is the long-awaited post. Also, a long post. Sorry for the delay. I think I mentioned before, I'm a processor. So it takes me a while to work through my thoughts and feelings on things. This situation and update may not be as satisfying as many would have hoped, but here it goes. Met with law enforcement again this past Tuesday. My husband and I drove over early that morning because I was also meeting up with the lawyer I'm working with. Aside from the near constant texts, calls, and emails, I wanted to pursue legal action for a specific issue. Allegedly, the stylist had tried to have my credit card canceled. Apparently, they used the last 4 digits of my card, called the customer service line for the card, and tried to cancel it. I got a call from the fraud department shortly after this person attempted to do this, trying to verify everything to see if I actually wanted to close my account and dissolve my credit line with them. To be clear, the stylist was not successful in their alleged attempt. They couldn't provide the basic information you need for such things like my actual last name. It's unusual, and they gave a name that was almost similar, date of birth, address, etc. Apparently, they thought they could accomplish this with just my name, phone number, and the last 4 digits of the card number. I didn't cancel the card, but did request a new one for obvious reasons. That was about a new sushi place. I had no clue why they would want to cancel my card. To inconvenience me? That's exactly why, allegedly. When I spoke with the CC company, they agreed to send over the recording of the person that called, as well as the phone number the call originated from, as long as the request came from law enforcement with a warrant. They gave me a phone number and reference number for the police to reach out to directly. The officer began working on that immediately, so that is in progress. I went to my phone company over the weekend. I had my phone number transferred to an old phone so I could still receive calls and texts there, but got a new phone number for my actual phone. The old phone and phone number has been turned over to the officer assigned to my case. They did go and speak with this person yesterday. Apparently they are horrified. I went to the police and had no idea any of their crazy could be chargeable offenses. According to the officer, there have been no further communications via text or call since their visit, and I haven't received any other emails. A temporary protection and no contact order has been issued against them until the first court date. I have also reached out to the State Board of Licensing with all this information and my complaints. All I can say is they are investigating. Outside of that information, I'm limited on any other information I can share since a legal process against this person has officially begun. We're just waiting to see how this all plays out now. It's been a long few weeks. I'm hoping for the best here. I'm already so relieved to no longer be getting calls, texts, or emails constantly. In the Red Velvet Room, there's a thank you for all the concern, advice, and good wishes. This was meant to be an outlet for me to vent and process, and I'm so grateful that you have allowed me to do that with the huge amount of support you have given. Story 2. Am I the asshole for kicking my fiance out after joking he got me pregnant on purpose? Original post. I, a 23-year-old female, made a post a couple days ago talking about a joke my fiance made at Thanksgiving, which concerned me. That post got taken down, locked. This is a repost. Update. I have been with my fiance, 26 male, for 3 years. We met whilst I was on holiday, and a few weeks after, he followed me on Instagram, and the rest is history. We got engaged last year, and a month later, found out I was pregnant. We have a beautiful 6-month-old. We hosted Thanksgiving this year, and my fiance was drinking quite heavily. And after dinner, me and my mom were talking about the wedding, which my parents are paying for. I overheard my fiance tell my brother, who was just as drunk as him, that he needed to tie me down and get me pregnant before I realized what a dickhead he was. They laughed it off, but it rubbed me the wrong way because our baby was not planned. I wasn't ready for a child and we were using condoms, but after a few instances where the condom broke, I decided it would be safer if I got on birth control. The first month on May 0, because I got pregnant, we were told that could happen, and he said he would pull out to be safe, but I still got pregnant. I was scared, but I personally didn't want to get an abortion. I 100% believe in the right to get an abortion. I just didn't want one, and so decided to keep the baby. I work for my dad's company, and my fiance works at a country club. Money wasn't necessarily why I didn't want a baby. I just wanted to do more before I started a family. I spoke to my fiance about what he said, and at first he said he didn't remember saying it, which was believable because of how drunk he was. But then he said it was just a joke, and it was meant as a compliment because I'm so amazing. So I said, okay, good, because we're getting a prenup. I was just joking, but I also wanted to see how he reacted, and he was pissed. He said, why the fuck would he sign a prenup that we have a baby together, a house together, and that he would not sign one, how he wouldn't need one because we're never separating, and that Me mentioning a prenup is insulting and emasculating. I never felt threatened or anything like that, but he did make me uncomfortable and he woke our baby up, so I told him to leave, which he did. The day after I kicked him out, he sent me a long apologetic message about how it was out of character for him to get loud, which it was. He's never acted like that before. And I replied saying I appreciate the apology, but I still just need a day or two to think everything through. The next day, he sent a bouquet to the apartment. On Sunday, he sent me a booking confirmation of a massage he booked for me at the club and offered to come over to watch our son and cook dinner. Tonight, he sent me a message saying that I'm being an a-hole and that I'm taking a meaningless joke to heart and that he's wasting money he could be saving for the wedding at the hotel. But now, things that went over my head before, I'm starting to think about. But breaking up my family over this doesn't seem right. Am I overthinking this? / being an a-hole? As I saw now for the update, but it's all over. Laura's out of my life now. For the update 1. A lot of people were asking for context. When I said I wanted a prenup at the time, I wasn't being serious. Maybe I was being an ass trying to get a reaction, but based on the 3 rounds we've been together, I would have never imagined he'd react the way he did. Why did the joke bother me so much? About a year ago, he lost his job. Was never really clear why. For the next 3/4 months, he didn't really do much. He said he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do next. And that was the first time he brought up having kids, indicating that he was ready. We had a candid conversation on my part about how I want kids, just not anytime soon. I enjoy my job. I had trips planned and I wanted to be married first. He agreed with me that we should wait 3/4 years. My dad's company got a contract at the club, which is how he got his job there. But during the time he was out of work, my girls would joke that he's a stay-at-home boyfriend and that I'm the provider and he'd be a stay-at-home dad because I was paying the bills / rent by myself, which at the time didn't bother me. I used to live there by myself before we got together, so it wasn't a big deal. But I guess it was them that first made me question. To be honest, I don't know how long the condoms were breaking. A lot of people are saying they've never had them break, and I can't say I remember it ever happening before. I noticed the first time that it looked like it had split. And then I checked it the next time that it was also broken, which is when I decided to get an iPod, which he didn't want me to, but I stood my ground and we compromised and I got on the pill. I know we should have continued using condoms, but he said he'd run out and that I'm on the pill and don't need them. In hindsight, yes, I should have insisted we still use them, but I chose not to have that battle. I thought we'd be okay. He knew my opinion on abortion and that I wouldn't get one. If I got pregnant, I would raise the baby unless it was for a medical reason. Money-wise, my family's successful. I work for my dad's company. I have 2 trust funds, one of which I got at 18. Before I felt pregnant, I was making plans to start my own house flipping business, but I decided to put that on hold. I still work from home on flexible hours, but he's said once we're married, he wants me to stop working so I can focus on our kids and that he'll support us, but I've never really liked that idea, mainly because although I've never had to worry about money, my parents always taught us the importance of financial stability, and my mom's always said to never be financially dependent on anyone. Plus, my fiance's current salary, I'm not sure would cover all of our expenses. The only reason why I haven't told my dad is because they have a good relationship, and I don't want to blow everything up over an overreaction on my part. Update 2. I23F made a post last week about a joke my fiance 26 made at Thanksgiving while drunk to everyone that hasn't seen my older posts. He joked that he got me pregnant to tie me down, and I didn't know what to make of it, so I posted on here to get outside opinions. I didn't want to initially talk to my friends or family about it because they're all quite close to him, and I didn't want to make a mountain out of a molehill and cause drifts in their relationships. Yesterday, we had a conversation about where I was at, but he said he couldn't go back to the hotel because they kicked him out for smoking in the room. He stopped smoking while I was pregnant, but he said I was stressing him out, so he had to stay at the apartment. Ooh. While I was up to one of my girls in the bedroom, he came in and took the phone off me and told me to come and eat. While we was eating, he said that he understood what I said and that things need to change for us to move forward. He then proceeded to list all the things I needed to do to make things better. His tone the whole conversation was just making me uneasy. I texted my dad saying that he was making me uncomfortable when he wasn't looking. I went to check on the baby, and when I came back, I saw him take my keys out of my purse but didn't say anything. He took my silence as agreement to everything he said and went to bed instead of the couch, like we had agreed, like everything was normal. I stayed in the living room, and my dad, bless him, drove 6 hours to come and get us. My dad got to the apartment around 5 this morning. while my fiance was still sleeping. And we left. Me and my son are at my parents' house now. My fiance's been blowing up my phone since this morning. I sent a text to him as we were driving off saying he wasn't respecting the fact that I needed space and time to just figure everything out so he could stay in the apartment and I'll stay at my parents'. But we haven't officially broken up or called the wedding off. My parents, who've paid for it, have said that they don't care if I want to call it off, but I feel bad. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who replied to my original post and privately messaged me. I didn't think people would care about me. I feel like every option I have is bad. The thought of being a single mom is scary. If my fiance's behavior gets worse, that would be shit. If we cancel the wedding and cost my parents thousands of dollars, I'll feel guilty. And if we break up altogether, we just got a house together. We're both on the mortgage. Our joint accounts, and I've been with him since I was 19. Being without him for good is also scary.